Alright guys, how's it going? I'm going to go into completely unplanned, on the basis of momentary inspiration, breakdown, preview, analysis in advance of Conor Benn versus Ryan Garcia. Now I haven't watched all of the relevant matchups, you know. So what are we going off here? A box of eggs, you know. Bohemian Grove. This is all. This is soothsaying nonsense. You know. But sometimes it echoes around, and hopefully the sense will, come straight through the middle. So anyway, sitting like a gentleman, by the way, not like a woman. Conor Benn's rather rugged, isn't he? He's a wee bit shorter than Ryan Garcia. Fights a bit shorter than him. He's quite muscly. He's quite strong. I'd say he's stronger than he is straight up more of a knockout puncher. I don't know if I've seen the best days of his knockout punching against the likes of I don't know what the hell, Algieri, great analyst, appreciate Algieri, although they want you to pay now to check out his stuff, and Paul and whoever else they have on there, it's nonsense, like absolute nonsense. But yeah, great pundit nonetheless, as we would say. Could you imagine Algeria on at Ali Pali or something like that? Yeah, you'd be a pundit then. But I'm not quite sure what the chemistry would be like, Frotz would probably put it on him, all of that there. But I wouldn't put it past Algeria to find a way through, he's a very sharp, incisive mind, I think sometimes he just needs to be a bit more bestial and take his chances to pounce on the incoming, preparatory perpetrator, and just hit him with a people's elbow or something like that. Anyway, enough nonsense talk. Conor Benn, like I say, rugged guy in the middle, gets in like that. He's going to be this side of you, he's going to be that side of you. He's going to be arms around your neck that way. He's going to be in around, he's going to be wrestling you. He's going to be out to the body. He is a bit of a throwback to his father in some regards. Not so much in fighting style, because in terms of their body makeup and just how they move and stuff, it's a different thing. It was a different age. Nigel Benn was a great fighter. Conor Benn has proven himself so far to be quite a good fighter, and a very good promoter, Yeah, so clever guy. You got to give him the credit for that. Ryan Garcia, what's he gonna do? Dance around? Is he gonna get involved up close with Conor Benn? Because Conor Benn's gonna wrestle with him, isn't he? Like he's gonna take him down. He's gonna do some MMA shit. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia's got to find that room and that distance that is more comfortable for him in order to be able to get that nice sharp jab off. I've often heard Stephen Bredman Edwards speak about, or write about, I should say, Ryan Garcia having cat's eyes. So right in the danger zone, in the pocket, or just outside of it, mid-range maybe, you can see a punch coming, and slip it, and snap. Instinctively, or whether or not, whatever that is. But he has something there, which is interesting because he's a pretty boy. And pretty boys in boxing, it's usually a bit, there's a lot of scope for kind of doubt and stuff like that, because you look at a guy like that, and someone who's very open about his feelings and things like this, and you feel, well, this guy can't fight, and it's like, well, wait till you see, So can you really? We have to ask ourselves, basically, when you get some mug, some e-fit thug here, this is, this pretty little girl's face here, you know what I mean? What is the score there? And I would say generally the e-fit thug is going to have more fight in him. He's going to be tougher. He's going to be more of a mongrel. He's going to be more vicious, and less likely to give up under duress. It'll be interesting to see what kind of game plan Garcia comes out with. He's a clever boxer. I think he's a classier boxer, a classier fighter. He needs to draw upon draw confidence from what he done against Haney. Different stylistic matchup, but it's a very good one, regardless of how many eggs he was having, that winter. So he needs to get that right hand. He needs to have a good think about that, and I'm sure they will. I'm not sure who's coaching him at the minute. I'm a bit of a casual, yeah, I'm a bit of a casual, yeah, I just read the dictionary for fun. I mean, come on here, despite all big words and trying to impress people and stuff like that there. And just when I think I've got away with it, I watch it back and realize I've said or done something really daft, and because I've been in against the E-Fit guys, do you know what I mean? Hell in a cell, and it's pretty painful. Pretty painful, but we're looking at a fair matchup. Guys are the same weight. I think Conor Benn has a lot of aggression. He has a lot of ambition, and I think too that his father's legacy is something that he can and probably has already done and will continue to draw upon. Whether or not he will, reach the, the levels that Nigel Benn done in terms of adulation received, stylistic achievement, and there was the guy, the American guy, called him the middleweight Tyson, Gerald McLennan. That guy was an absolute killer. I think he was 18 for 18 knockouts. He was an absolute killer, and he knocked Nigel Benn out of the ring, and Nigel Benn climbed back in, and he messed up Gerald McLennan. Now, whatever else was going on, do you know what I mean? Don King was clearly on the side of, one fighter. Come the end of the contest, Ryan Garcia, I think, has got to be more cerebral. He's got to outwit this guy. He's got to throw him for a loop, which I think he has already been successful in doing in some of the face-offs. And it's been an effective policy as far as dealing with the very brash, furious, throbbing, dickhead. I think he's been quite good in what he's done. Distractions from the social media side of what he does by the end of his career. I mean, evidently, the past little while, that's sort of been laid to rest. You know what I mean? Those questions have kind of been answered. You know what I mean? That's something that he managed again outside of his boxing career. If you had a face like his, why wouldn't you bank on it? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd like Ryan Garcia to win. You know, um, but if Conor Benn wins and he puts on a good show and it's competitive, he prevails and there's respect shown at the end. Um, I'll be glad for him. I'll be glad for him. You know, an old Nigel Benn. You know, he's a top guy. Like you know, so you know why not? Anyway, guys, that's good night from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Sorry, all Ireland, Britain, British Isles. Oh shit, I've gone and made a dickhead of myself again, haven't I? Good night.